Good evening and welcome to the Penfield Town Board Legislative Meeting for Wednesday, April 6, 2022. Would you please join me and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, and may I ask the town clerk to do the roll?
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Here.
Kohl.
Here.
Lee is absent. Ockenden.
Here.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to our communication and announcements. We have several communications for this evening. I will start first by mentioning that this Saturday, April 9th, Penfield Rec Department will be hosting a group hike at Channing Philbrook Park, led by the Trails Committee. The group hikes occur monthly and offer a great way to enjoy the numerous hiking trails. This will be at Channing Philbrook Park. It will be Saturday, April 9th at 9, and we will meet at the lower pavilion parking lot by the pavilion. If you need to, you can call 340-8655 to register. Thank you. Mr. Ockenden?
Yes, thank you. I have two this evening. The first is the electric car show that will be held April 9th, this Saturday, at the Penfield Community Center. It'll be running from 9 a.m. till 12 noon. The show is part of the electric car events taking place nationwide on the same date to mark Drive Electric Earth Day. New York State Electric Auto Association and Greater Rochester Clean Cities Coalition are also event partners. The show is free and open to the public. There'll be cars from private owners, dealers, and members of the New York State Electric Auto Association will be on display to answer questions. And secondly, I just want to acknowledge a guest we have in our audience here tonight, Zachary Mershivska. If you could just stand up, you're in the crowd there. Thank you for joining us tonight. Zachary is here. He's a 9th grader at Penfield High School. He's here working on a merit badge for his Boy Scout troop. So again, thank you for joining us tonight.
By the way, does the town clerk have any announcements for this evening?
I do, thank you. Before you dig into improvement projects around the yard this season, please call 811 or visit UDIG NY, formerly known as Dig Safely NY, and they will coordinate with local utility companies to locate all underground utility lines on your property and mark the areas with paint or flags so that you don't unintentionally dig into an underground utility line. UDIG NY and 811 will also provide information regarding damage prevention information, local contacts, and rules for safe digging. Residents and business owners should call at least 2 days before planning to dig to schedule an appointment. And then my second announcement is that the Shepherd Home, located at 1959 5 Mile Line Road, is the town of Penfield's hospice end-of-life care home. They will be hosting their annual Spring Gala fundraiser on Saturday, May 7th at the Inn on Broadway downtown. Tickets cost $125, of which $35 will be tax deductible. Included with the purchase of the ticket will be dinner, cash bar, entertainment, dancing, cork pull, live auction, and more. To RSVP by April 22nd, or for more information, please visit www.shepherdhome.org or call the Shepherd Home at 585-381-0890. There is still some space available for anyone who would like to help sponsor the event, provide a program advertisement, or make a donation. This fundraiser is a great way to support this vibrant and valued asset in our community. That's it.
Thank you. Councilperson Drawe.
Thank you. I have a couple announcements tonight. The first is that being we have a tree planting event set for April 23rd at Rothfuss Park, and the public is invited. The town of Penfield is hosting this event on Saturday, April 23rd from 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. at Rothfuss Park, which is 1641 5 Mile Line Road. Residents and community groups are welcome to attend the event, which will include a free tree sapling giveaway. This event is being held to coincide with Earth Day and Arbor Day. Highlights in this event will be the planting of of red maple and eastern white pine trees. These trees will measure roughly 6 feet in height at the planting, and they're going to enhance our natural shading in this parks and the walking trails for many years to come. The trees are being purchased with funds from a New York Urban Forestry Council grant recently received and awarded to our town. A brief demonstration from the landscape architect on best planting practices will also precede the tree planting. Additionally, smaller tree saplings purchased by the Town of Penfield's Conservation Board will be distributed to event attendees. The tree saplings, which include our official town tree, the red maple, will be available for residents to plant at Rothfuss Park or to take home for planting. For more information on this, contact the Town of Penfield's sustainability programs and look at that at www.penfield.org/sustainability. And I will be there, as many of people on the town board as well, along with my conservation board members for this good event. So I hope to see as many of you out there as would like to come. And my second announcement is I'm pleased to announce the return of Good Neighbor Day. This is our 8th year of bringing the community together. And Good Neighbor Day, if anyone doesn't know, is in honor of a very wonderful man by the name of Terry Rothfuss. He was a farmer in East Penfield. Many of you know he was a friend to all. He was always ready and willing to help anyone in any time. When he passed away in 2014, there was a huge hole left in our community. And his friends and family wanted to carry on Terry's legacy of friendship by continuing to help their community, inspire others to do the same. So we're going to gather at Rothfuss Farm, the same place, we're going to gather at Rothfuss Farm the morning of the event for free refreshments and to receive our assignments. The projects will require no more than a 3-hour commitment. Those who would like to help with the yard work or spring cleanup are encouraged to call and sign up. And to do that, you can call Sabrina in our Recreation Department at 340-8651 or email her at srenner@penfield.org. And so the town of Penfield is pleased to have the Browncroft Community Church to celebrate being good neighbors with us, and they are going to invite the whole community to Rothfuss Park after we've met in the morning at Rothfuss Farm on Saturday, May 7th from 10 to 1 for fun, food, and a time to catch up with your neighbors. The events will include food trucks, a food drive for Penfield Ecumenical Food Shelf, and fun activities for the whole family. And this event is free and open to everyone, and I encourage everyone to come to this as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilperson Kohl.
Good evening. If you didn't know, this is National Library Week. And I just want to say National Library Week is taking place between April 3rd and 9th, 2022. It's a time to celebrate our nation's libraries, library workers, contributions, and promote library use and support. It was first sponsored in 1958. National Library Week is sponsored by the American Library Association and observed in libraries across the country each April. We've heard from our librarian, Rhonda Rossman. She wanted us to mention that the celebration of National Library Week, anyone who comes in to our Penfield Public Library in the month of April gets a new library card or updates an old library card will receive a small gift to show the library to show library's appreciation. We have decals and Penfield Public Library pencils that we will be giving away. So if you'd like to come, well, I hope you're all coming to the library. If you're going to come to the library, you get a little gift here in April. So that's my announcement tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I have 2 additional announcements. The first one I do not have a slide for, unfortunately. It's my fault. I forgot to submit it, but I just wanted to announce that the Penfield Anti-Racist Alliance is holding a mutual aid drive this Saturday, April 9th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Rothfuss Park. This will be rain or shine. So they are doing a collection of food and supplies, and they are using these to supply stands throughout the Rochester area. People with an abundance can drop off sealed food/supplies at any of these stands wherever they want. So This drive is to collect supplies for those stands. I encourage you to go to their website or to Facebook, to their Facebook page for more information about this. And again, I want to apologize for not having the slide. The second announcement I would like to make is the town board and I would like to address the community about the issue of reassessment, which we know is on everyone's minds. So on behalf of the town board, I want to take a few moments to address the reassessment process for the town. And as you can imagine, we are receiving lots of inquiries from residents. They are upset, confused, or concerned about their assessment and its impact on their taxes. Throughout this process, the town has sought to provide timely and relevant information about reassessment and what it means for property owners. There are several points I'd like to cover. First is that there is no good time to do reassessment. Whether it's the pandemic, robust home sale prices, or economic conditions, there is truly no good time to do the assessment. The town board did delay reassessment for 2 years, specifically because of the pandemic. And we even looked at it again this year. However, the real estate market looks to be as active, if not more so, than previous years, and with no sign of a substantial change in any conditions going forward. So we knew that if we delayed it, we would only be postponing another year of strong sales. Unless something drastic and unforeseen happened, postponing would only lead to another year of strong sales to be included in assessment calculations. And that's why we use 3 years of data. We use 3 years of data to smooth out those short-term spikes. On the website, we have tried to put a plethora of resources on there for you to learn about reassessment and what it means for you. Also on the website are instructions to follow if you disagree with your assessment and how this disagreement process would unfold. So I want to say that even though the assessment has changed for your property, the board remains steadfast in its principles of strong fiscal responsibility and fairness. We have been and will continue to act as good stewards of taxpayer dollars. Conducting regular reassessment of town properties is another piece of the stewardship and fairness for which we strive. Of your tax bill, I just want to also mention that this board over here controls only 8% of your total tax bill. So we are committed to using taxpayer dollars wisely and providing residents with the town and services of which they can be proud. Each taxing jurisdiction, if it's the county or the school, also will draw a budget. And remember, if you disagree with the budget, if the next budget is school budget, you can go and vote yes or no for that. But this town board only controls 8%. I also want to encourage you also to go on to YouTube. There's an excellent video that was actually done by the town of Grand Island. If you just type in youtube.com and then Grand Island and reassessment, you should come up with a video that was done by the town of Grand Island. It is very good at explaining the hows and whys of reassessment and what its impact might be. So I encourage you to use those resources to educate yourself. Thank you very much. All right, we'll now move on to our public hearings. We have 2 public hearings this evening. Our first public hearing is to consider rezoning of 1234, 1250, and 1258 Northrup Road. Would the town clerk like to tee this up for us?
Sure. As Marie said, it's to consider rezoning of 1234, 1250, and 1258 Northrup Road from rural agricultural 2 acres, RA2, to rural residential 1 acre, RR1. The legal notice was published in the Webster Herald March 24th, 2022, posted on the town's website and town clerk bulletin board, and 10 postcards were mailed.
Thank you very much. May I ask the town attorney if this is correctly before the board?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. All right, so there are 3 ways to participate this evening. The first is being here. You can speak to us directly in person, and the second way is by calling 340-8771. You can also contact us through our website at penfield.org. So I'd like to open up the public hearing. Are there any people that have signed up to speak here in person tonight?
No one signed up for this particular public hearing.
Okay. Is there anyone that we overlooked in the audience that wishes to speak to this? All right. Before I go any further, I'll let people have a moment to call. Mark, do you want to do any explanation for the public?
Sure. So before the board is consideration of rezoning of these properties. So 3 properties, Gary and Wendy Smith are here tonight if the board has questions. They're looking at getting their property rezoned. There is no plan for development at this time, and that is not before this board. This board's action is to look at and consider rezoning of the property, excuse me, not any sort of approval of development. If and when they wanted to proceed with that, they'd come through the planning board action as part of that. So I've highlighted on the screen those 3 properties just for people's consideration on location. So that is on Plank Road 250, excuse me again, and then Northrup Road. So I've highlighted these 3 properties. They're looking to rezone from 2 acre to 1 acre. They continue to operate their property here. They've got some growing operations for trees, as well as their own property on that, but just looking to rezone that. But I say there is no current pending application or anything for actual development on the property.
Okay, thank you. Again, anyone in the room who wishes to speak to this? I'm not seeing any phone calls. Are there any questions or comments from the town board?
Mark, can you just clarify, so the outline parcel that we're seeing in blue, that's the area we're talking about?
Correct.
That's the 3 of them combined, or that's?
Yep, so that's the 3 different properties. So you've got the one on the corner, you've kind of got this one that's a T, and then the other kind of flag lot piece are the 3 that they own, the 3 pieces they're requesting rezoning for.
Okay, and then in the letter we received from the Smiths, there was reference to neighboring parcels being interested. That's a separate piece.
They have not submitted a request to that. They've not submitted a request to the Comprehensive Plan Committee, to the board, both for this application and the next application. These applicants have come before the Comprehensive Plan Committee. The Comp Plan Committee did recommend rezoning for both of the properties. We have not received any application from any of the neighbors as whether they're interested. We would have to schedule a hearing similar to this, properly advertise. Similarly, if they come forward tomorrow and said, yeah, we want to be included, we'd have to go through a similar process with them.
Okay, treated separately?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm still not seeing anyone calling in or coming in through our website, so seeing no one else in the audience, I would declare this public hearing closed, and we'll move this item to our work session on April 13th. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, public hearing number 2.
Okay, this one's to consider rezoning of 1271 Fairport 9 Mile Point Road from rural agricultural 2 acres to residential R120. The legal notice was published in the Webster Herald on March 24th, 2022, posted on the town's website and town clerk bulletin board. 21 postcards were mailed.
Thank you very much. Mr. Horowitz, is this properly before the board?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Before we open up the public hearing, I just want to remind everyone, you can speak in person. You can call 340-8771, or you can reach us through our website at penfield.org. And Mr. Valentine, would you also give us some background for this?
Sure. So 1271 Fairport 9 Mile is highlighted on this map right here. Bill and Laura Vendel are here tonight, the owners of the property, owners of Welch's Farm Market. They do currently have approval for a single-family house on the property, approximately in this location, but they're here tonight asking for rezoning of the remainder of the property to half-acre zoning. Again, there is no application for further development. That is not before this board. That's not this board's consideration. If it is rezoned, then at some point in the future, they can come back before the planning board if and when they want to pursue something further. Just for reference, the properties to the north, I know there are many neighbors here tonight with concern. It was zoned 2 acres several years ago. It was subsequently rezoned For perspective, and just to put that out there, many of the properties on this northern piece are a quarter acre or less. So they are asking to go to half acre. So the lot sizes on this side are larger than the vast majority of the lots on this side, just to kind of give some public perspective, so as people present their comments or concerns.
Okay, thank you very much. I do believe we have people who would like to speak.
Yes, the first person I have is Frank Bonsignor.
Good evening, Mr. Bonsignor.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Of course, would you just give your name and address for the record?
Sure. Frank Bonsignor, 59 Colton Court.
Thank you.
And my question may not apply to this meeting here, but I'm curious why, what is the reason behind the request to rezone? Okay. Because, of course, if it's not that we're against further development of the lands of Penfield or anything like that, it's in particular, we've enjoyed the forever wild, if you were, the wild, the open space of the property, and to see it undergo continuous development, okay, and to the possibility that that development will entail construction vehicles to proceed through our existing land, through Colton Court, through Abington Place, is kind of distressing, okay? And so those are issues that, at least speaking just for myself, that
Okay.
I have.
Sure. And I know the applicant is here, and also I know Mr. Valentine, I don't know if you also want to speak to this or to
I
call
can
the
respond to
applicant
that. I won't answer the question about why they're looking to get it rezoned. I'll let them answer that question for it. But as far as construction vehicles, there's a stub there now, so
Yes.
that was always intent for this development to continue on. There are existing utilities within the Abington development that they can tie into within public right-of-way. As far as future construction vehicles, those would all need to access through his own property. We don't allow, if it's within Abington development, you were in phase 1, you've seen construction through phase 2, 3, whatever, as it goes on. His construction, other than making connections to those utilities, extending that road, would have to come through his property. So we would, as the town, would not allow him to bring construction trucks through Abington, through other properties to develop his property. He would have to find access out to 250 through his own property, bring in whatever trucks are needed, equipment on his own land.
Great.
That being said, there is the stub connection, so if and when at some point they're looking to extend that, obviously they'd need to tie into that. There are utilities within the Abington development that are town dedicated. They'd have the right to tie into those, similar to is Abington tied into Cranberry Cove and kind of on it. But
Sure.
as far as construction vehicles, I can at least speak to that part.
Okay, so let me just play this back, see what I understand it. Before the stub road would be opened up to any future development there, they would first have to gain access from 250, correct?
Yeah, they'd bring their equipment in off of 250, come in, construct their development, construct, their part of the road, tie it in. Obviously, once it's tied in, it's a dedicated road similar to any other dedicated
Sure.
road. The public has the right to drive down their road as well as your roads.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
Sure. What about the reason behind the rezoning?
That's up to them if they'd like to share or not. I don't want to speak on their behalf.
Okay. Are they here?
They're here. If they'd like to come up, they can. And if not, you can. Would you like to come forward?
At the end.
Oh, okay, sure. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, I have another speaker, Paul Chatfield.
Mr. Chatfield? Hi, Mr. Chatfield.
Hi.
Could you give your name and address?
Sure. My name is Paul Chatfield, and I live at 74 White Spire Lane in the Cranberry Cove subdivision. I just want to point out that it's great to see so many neighbors here today from the Abington neighborhood. I walk over there all the time with my 2 dogs in hand, and it's great to see them. Tonight, I'm speaking in support of the rezoning of the application for the property that is owned by the Vendels. Bill Vendel and his family had been here long before any of us were here in that subdivision next to them and to our subdivision. They've worked their land for a long time. They've been good neighbors. They have been good stewards of the land, working their land long before any of us were here. I feel that this rezoning request is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood, with single-family homes on kind of on the north and west side of the Abington neighborhood, and having the townhomes that are north of the Abington subdivision, and having the proposed rezoning of the property with single-family homes that are in keeping with the neighborhood. One of the things that I enjoy about living in Penfield, and specifically living in this neighborhood, is the fact that it's a community. It's a community of large single-family homes. It's a community of patio homes. It's a neighborhood of townhomes. And I think that's what helps make a community, is having some diverse home options for people. And I do believe that this is really the best that we could possibly get for the neighborhood.
Okay, is there anything else?
Yeah, I do. I'm just taking a look at my notes here.
No problem.
Okay.
Take your time.
During the rezoning of the Crosstown townhome development north of the Abington subdivision, I came and spoke in favor of that development, as many of the neighbors that lived in the Abington neighborhood at the time, many that actually lived right next to that development. It's my opinion that rezoning this property with single-family homes continues to build on a very nice neighborhood, providing a variety of homes sizes that meet a growing housing need. And I again, just want to speak in support of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't have anybody else signed up at this time.
Sir, would you like to come forward?
No, but yes.
Unfortunately, the microphones are up here.
This one's working?
Yes. You just need to state your name and address.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dale Snell. I live at 40 Maya Drive. I'm here tonight I don't understand the purpose of the stub road. I live right by that stub road, and all I see it is bringing additional traffic into our complex, and I don't understand why that needs to be an access to our property. I have no complaints, or I'm in support of them developing their land, but I don't see why that road has to be opened up so that people there can drive through our complex.
And how long has the stub road been there?
Well, it's been there as long as the development's been there, as far as I know.
Okay. Mr. Valentine?
So as new development happens, we need multiple points of access. So
Isn't that only if there's a certain number of properties on the complex?
yes, and that code has changed in recent years. The fire code used to be up to 100 lots, and I believe that's what Abington has today. The new code changes.
88, but okay.
The new code changes down to 35. So Mr. Vendel, if he does develop his property, will have to have another connection to Route 250. So that'll give a second means of access for fire or emergency to get into your development, as well as for you to get out of your development. So that's why the stub road's there. Fire code requires it. So if there was an accident at your intersection, So right now at Colton Court, if there was an accident at the intersection, everybody in the neighborhood is stuck. There's a car accident, nobody today can leave the neighborhood, nobody can get into the neighborhood. So as good planning, we have multiple points of access in and out of the neighborhood, so that's why it's stubbed there, it's why it's stubbed at the back end. So as new developments come in, there'll be multiple access points that if there was an accident there, you can get out, emergency vehicles could get in, so there'd be other options, other points or locations for them to access, and that's a fire code issue.
And why and when was it changed from 100 to 35?
I believe in the 2020 update of the New York State Fire Code, that's a state and federal, I think they adopted to the International Building Code. So that's not a Town of Penfield decision, that was a
So again, my only complaint about the whole thing is that, you know, the additional traffic in our complex that I'm not in favor of. And then just one other comment about the tax increase, and I don't know if this is the place to do it. But
Actually, you'll have to wait till public participation, so just hang on, and we'll be getting to that next.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, please come forward.
Hi, Matt Bauerlein, 4 Colton Court. I have no problem with the development. My only concern is the traffic on 250 and the speed limit. We're going to put another group of homes there. They're all going to be coming out onto Route 250, and we've asked for that speed limit to be reduced, and that's my concern.
Do you want to speak, or
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a state highway, so the Town of Penfield does not have jurisdiction over it. We can, and we do meet annually with the state DOT, so we can offer our thoughts and our influence. Actually, more houses, more development in the area tends to get them to lower the traffic speed. It's a little counterintuitive, but the speed is typically set based on what 85% of the population drives. So they kind of back into the speed limit. So 85% of the people are comfortable driving a certain speed. That's what they set the speed limit at. So you kind of back into it. So a little counterintuitive, but if there's more traffic, it tends to slow people down. There's more development in the area. So as you drive into most villages, the speed limit lowers down. You have more development in the area. But it's not a Town of Penfield decision, so we have no jurisdiction over Route 250. We can ask all day, but, you know.
So the speed limit changes when you get near the village of Webster, not maybe a couple hundred yards past our development to like 40?
Yep.
And then it changes again when you get up near the YMCA, I believe.
Yep.
Back down to, I think, 40 or 45. I don't know why it's 55 in between.
And that's something we can share with the state DOT. I say we meet with them annually. We review areas of concern in town, areas we've got concern about condition of roadways. Again, we can't dictate what it is, but we can offer up, you know, the residents' concerns and, you know, engage them on all of your behalf and try to, you know, leverage the best we can to do that. But that's something we will share with them.
And I just
Great.
want to add to what Mr. Valentine said. I know that this has been a concern for the neighbors, and I've gotten communication about it. That is on our list, as well as I know the concerns about 441 as well, which are both state roads. So our job is really to advocate on behalf of residents. Ultimately, the decision isn't ours, but we can certainly advocate on your behalf.
Great, thank you.
You're very welcome. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this? Go, come on up.
Hi, I'm Diane Reese from 23 Maya Drive.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your last name.
Diane Reese.
Thank you.
And I would just like to add one more thing, if you could put on that traffic list. Myself, and I think another couple in the room, has faced, when you exit Maya Drive, my husband and I were almost in a head-on collision because you can pass there. There's a dotted line, and if they could just make that solid, that would make a big difference for us. So if you can just add that to the other thing when you do talk to them.
I'm very happy to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I believe there's one other person who wanted to speak.
John Miller, 43 Meyer Drive.
John, I'm sorry, what was your last name?
Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R.
And what Maya Drive? Number?
Meyer Drive,
What
43.
43, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
I'm relatively new to the neighborhood, but I've known the Welsh's operation for many, many years, and I have utmost respect for them. I'm certainly not opposed to what they're looking at for a development. I am concerned, however, about the streets. The conditions are deplorable. You can tell as they have built in the complex. As you go along, you see a line in the road, and then you see new blacktop. And then you see a line in the road, and you see a new thing. What they haven't taken care of is the surface of all of the roads, and they're deteriorating through the years. With the new development, we will have more construction equipment coming in. I'm concerned about who is responsible for the existing roads in the complex, all through Abington. I see it not only on Maya, but I see it on the other parts of the street as well. It needs to be taken care of. I don't know if that's the builder's responsibility or the town.
Well, I believe those are town-owned roads, correct?
And I can speak to that.
Okay.
So any new development, the builder installs the road, constructs it at their cost. They then put a bond on the road for 2 years. So they are town-dedicated roads. There is a bond on the road, so if there is an issue with it, we can address it. And then obviously as the bond expires, they turn over, to the town ownership. So we'll have to look at, it's been more than 2 years for the development, so there's phases that are wholly owned by the town. There's phases that, were newly constructed by the builder, and then there's others that are in that bond period. So it's, I don't have an immediate answer to say this piece is this piece is this, but we can take a look at that, and I'll be happy to, drive through there and take a look at what's going on, and then meet with our Director of Public Works. He and his crews are the ones that, take care of the condition of the road, so I'd, meet with them and have them take a look at it as well.
Yeah, there's waves and bumps in it, if you will, that are only going to get worse.
And that's helpful to know as we start construction season and plan out our projects for the year. So thank you very much for sharing that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this particular application? Good evening.
Tom Weber, 87 My Drive, just north of the project that's in question. And I basically support what they're trying to do. I would like to try and repeat what Paul said, because he did it far more eloquently than I can. But I don't see any reason that that project shouldn't proceed, whether it's one house or multiple houses, as it's going to add to the tax base and maybe lower my taxes.
Thank you very much.
After I've been assessed, which would be appropriate.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last
After
part.
I've just been assessed would be appropriate.
Noted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? And I believe the owners of the property are here. Good evening.
How you doing?
Hi.
Bill and Laura Vendel. We live at 1267 Webster Road, next to the Welch's Farm Market. And we've lived there for 41 years. When we first bought the property, it was zoned half acre for 3 weeks. And they changed it to 2 acre, RA2, which at that time I was 23 years old, had no idea about zoning, town boards, meetings, nothing. So we've lived there a long time, and we farmed it, and with the new development and the amount of water coming off the yards, the last 3 seasons I've been flooded. The town did their best. They did a lot of drainage work, did a beautiful job with the drainage work. but it's still, there's a whiplash. It takes a long time for that water to go down. So in the meantime, the crops can't, they can't live under all that water. So then, back about 3 or 4 supervisors, we all got a letter from Channing Philbrook asking everyone, do you want to save open space? Do you want to buy development rights? And we can save the land that's away from the infrastructure, that's away from the schools, that's away from the fire, that's away from the sewers. Maybe I said it already, I'm not sure. But if sewers are able to go in and it's sewerable, then that would be developed at a higher density. In return, the land that we all paid for open space and development rights, millions of dollars, that was to be saved. So our land happens to be right on the edge of the sewer, where some of it is sewerable. Maybe not all of it. I'm not exactly sure. So, when we first bought it, the property, to the north was all open fields, and out by the road was all woods. Lots of birds, wildlife, deer, pheasants. Then they developed it. I liked it the way it was with the open space, but, things go on. Progress is progress, I understood. So now we're at a point where, we're getting older and we're trying to get options. Everyone's all excited there's going to be a development. There's no plans for a development. I just happened to be at the town hall one day, and I heard someone say, so-and-so wants to submit a letter to the committee, the comp plan committee, to rezone their property. So I said, hey, that sounds like a good idea. So I'll write a letter and I'll go through the process, which I did. We came to the meetings. It was voted on by the committee. And this is where we are today. We're here, and there's no development planned, not at this time.
You would just like to have the option.
Just to have options, yeah.
Sure.
That is, what you're looking at there is my retirement, my 401k. Everyone else has 401ks. No one tells them how to manage their 401ks. But apparently, everyone gets to tell me how I manage mine. So, any questions?
I don't have any questions. Do any of the board members have any questions?
May I ask one question? So I know you just mentioned, Bill, that you don't know how much of that is sewerable, but...
Right. At the stub road, the sewers, the town just came up and cambered it. It's 7.5 feet deep.
Okay.
At the end of the stub that Mark's showing on the screen. So, I mean, just because it's zoned 2 acre doesn't mean it will go 2 acre. I could still sell the back 10 to someone who wants one house, a pool, a barn, a dirt bike track, horses, whatever. It just doesn't mean that it's going to go 2 acre.
How much are you farming right now? How many acres?
I'm farming about 10.
Okay. And the total piece is?
17. The farm market in the front takes up 5.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just want to add some clarity to Mr. Vendel's comments. Prior to 1981, all of the town was zoned half acre. 1981, we had a major rezoning in the town that changed a lot of our zoning, and that's his comment of when I bought it or owned it was half acre is true.
Half acre.
So 1981, we changed a lot of our zoning based on sewers. So as you went east, we don't have a lot of sewers east of 250. We don't have a lot of sewers in the area. As sewers come in, and there is availability of it, that's as we've looked at rezoning of areas down to smaller sizes that can be sewerable. So having larger lots, if it's going to be a septic system, you need a larger lot. The county health department won't allow less than 1 acre for a for a septic system. But now that sewers are coming here, that's why we're kind of reverting back to, as you said originally, was half acre. The whole town was half acre back in the 80 and earlier. So just wanted to
Thank you for
provide that update and then to,
Yeah, thank you for the
clarify that
clarification.
statement.
I bet those 40 years went by in a blink.
They did, very fast.
All right, so if there's no one else that wishes to speak to this, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed, and then this will go on.
No, I just want to say that I think it just makes sense to do it that way. I don't see that there should be any reason to argue it. It kind of blends in with what they're doing. You want revenue, they want lower taxes. We want more money. I think it all works out.
Win-win-win.
Yes, I just don't understand why they would be upset, but they don't know us that way, and most of you don't know that we've worked all these years, 7 days a week, for years and years and years, so we just, we try to make everybody happy. We try to do everything right, and I just don't understand why anybody would give us an argument about it.
I don't know if I heard that. What I heard was just questioning,
Yes.
a lot of people just want to
And we
understand a
wouldn't have
little bit
another
more
road,
about the
so
project.
we wouldn't have all that traffic. I guarantee you.
into the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. We would have another road. You wouldn't have to worry about the traffic because we would take care of that.
I didn't hear that. What I heard was just people questioning what
Yes.
was in your mind. So,
Yes.
Anyone else, would they like to speak? Okay. So I'm going to declare this public hearing closed. This will go on the agenda for our work session next
Yeah.
week.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much. All right, that concludes our public hearings for the evening. For those of you who were here for the public hearings, you are most welcome to stay. If you do not wish to stay, you can certainly, we won't be offended if you would like to go home and enjoy your evening.
Mark and Mark.
As a former supervisor, I was very impressed.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
How you doing?
Just going to wait for the room to clear out just a bit, and then we'll move on to public participation. Okay.
It's unusual. A lot of people. New articles.
I know, it's all support.
They just came out. Must be a slow night. It's
You gonna stay? You're gonna stay?
Wait, we got to put it on record. Hold on.
Keep it in your mind.
Okay, I'm trying not to be offended that no one would like to stay. Okay, folks, are you here for public participation or?
Communications and announcements.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, so our public hearings are now closed. We're going to move on to public participation. Again, 3 ways to participate this evening. The first is in person. The second is by calling 340-8771 or by contacting us through our website at penfield.org. And I know we have at least one person who would like to speak. And if you would like to come up to the dais once again, apologize for making you make 2 trips.
No worries. I need the exercise. So my assessment went up almost $100,000, which is a separate issue. My main concern is the ability to challenge it ends like this Friday. And I've heard from many people that the website is so booked up, they can't get through, they can't schedule an appointment, they can't. So I'm just raising the concern that you aren't giving people enough time to challenge their tax assessment.
Thank you for bringing that up. Actually, I want to make it clear that we are extending appointments and things like that, so you can certainly make an appointment beyond this week. As weeks become filled up on the calendar, they automatically open up more. They're just trying to do it in a kind of a uniform manner. Wait till everything gets filled and then open up more. So I don't want you to be alarmed if you are still trying to make an appointment. There will be ample opportunity.
Okay, one other suggestion, let that fact be known to the general news, so when you listen to the news on TV, they don't say that Friday's the last day.
I will absolutely make sure that that gets
Thank you very
communicated
much.
tomorrow morning, first
Hope
thing.
you folks have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Are there any calls? Okay. Seeing none, I will declare this portion of our public participation closed. There will be another opportunity at the end of the meeting tonight. And then moving on, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We'll move on then to our approval of minutes from March 2nd, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Ockenden, second by Councilperson Kohl. Are there any questions or comments about the minutes? All right, seeing none, may we have a roll call vote?
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes.
All right, moving on to petitions. Has any board member, have the town clerk or town attorney received any petitions? Okay, thank you very much. Then we'll go on to resolutions by function.
Authorization for Supervisor to sign a service agreement with Time Warner Cable Northeast LLC DBA Spectrum for fiber internet access circuits.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas Time Warner Cable Northeast LLC DBA Spectrum has been awarded the New York State OGS contract PS 68706, Award 23100, Group 77017, bid for fiber internet access circuits. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Penfield hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign an agreement with Time Warner Cable Northeast LLC, DBA Spectrum through April 2024 to provide for fiber internet access circuits to the town. The said services are necessary to support our daily operation with and around the town, various town facilities. The service agreement shall be in a form and a substance acceptable to our town attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilperson Drawe, a second by Councilperson Kohl. Any questions or comments? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Acceptance of financial statements and independent auditors' reports for 2021 and filing of the New York State Annual Update document.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas the town of Penfield engaged the services of Bonadillo and Company, LLP, to prepare our financial statements and an independent auditor's report for the fiscal year 2021, as well as assisting in the preparation of the AUD, and whereas the town board has reviewed the said statements and reports and finds all this information to be in order. So now therefore be resolved that the town board hereby accepts the financial statements as prepared by Bonadillo and Company, LLP, for 2021, and acknowledges the filing of the AUD with the New York State Comptroller. Copies of the said documents will be filed in the office of the town clerk and posted on our town's website. Thank you. That AUD, I should say, is the annual update document, just for clarification. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have a motion by Councilperson Drawe, second by Councilperson Ockenden. Any comments or concerns? Roll call vote.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Budget amendment for library budget.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas the town of Penfield Public Library has received a grant from the Friends and the Foundation of the Rochester Public Library in the amount of $8,111.20. And whereas the town board desires to have an up-to-date budget in relation to its current appropriations and revenues, so now therefore be it resolved that the following 2022 budget amendment be approved, and that's in revenue, L00-1000-2705-001 in the amount of $8,111.20, into appropriations, L007410-004-4008, and that's in grants and books materials, again, for the amount of $8,111.20. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilperson Drawe, a second by Councilperson Kohl. All in favor?
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Budget amendment for the construction of fields at Rothfuss Park.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas per Resolution 22T-065 of the Town Board awarded a contract to Pooler Enterprises to construct 3 new rectangular athletic fields at Rothfuss Park in accordance with our Rothfuss Park Master Plan. And whereas this project is the development of town parkland for recreational purposes, this board hereby authorizes the appropriation of $334,945 from the town's Recreation Trust Special Revenue Fund, and so therefore be it resolved that the following 2022 budget amendment is hereby approved. And that would be interfund transfer receipt of $334,945 into appropriations, which is our park playground projects, for that set amount, $334,945. Thank you.
And I'd just like to note for the public that this should be starting next week. You may notice some construction, some materials being moved around this week, so we should be getting started Monday.
Wow, good.
Okay.
Spring's here.
Motion by Councilperson Drawe, second by Councilperson Ockenden.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Budget amendment to court budget for JCAP grant award.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas the Town of Penfield Justice Court received a Justice Court Assistance Program grant from the State of New York Unified Court System in the amount of $17,820.22. And whereas the Town Board desires to have an up-to-date budget in relation to the current appropriations and revenues. So now therefore be it resolved that the following 2022 budget amendment be approved. And this is for the Justice Court Assistance Program grant funding in the amount of $17,820.22 into appropriations for the renovation of the town court for that said amount, $17,820.22. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilperson Drawe and a second by Councilperson Kohl. And before we do the roll call vote, I just want to extend our gratitude to Judge Mully for writing and procuring this grant to help update the Justice Court area. Thank you very much.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Budget transfer in the drainage fund for equipment purchase.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas a transfer is necessary for the purchase of equipment in the drainage account, and whereas the town board desires to have an up-to-date budget in relation to the current income and expenditures. So therefore be it resolved that the following 2022 budget transfer be approved. And this is from miscellaneous projects in the amount of $8,221. Into the equipment for drainage projects, the same amount, which would be $8,221. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion by Councilperson Drawe, second by Councilperson Ockenden. Roll call vote.
Okay. I don't know if I need to mention that I'm noticing that the person who wrote this up took last year's town board and put it in. I don't know if it needs to be amended or not, but I'll fix that in the office. Would you like to consider it as an amendment, or I can just correct it?
Just correct it.
Okay.
Just housekeeping.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes.
I'm sorry, Amy, could you just point out what you were looking at?
So I'm looking at the bottom where it has the vote.
Oh. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. So I won't amend it. I will just fix it.
Okay. That's the roll call, so yeah, that's fine.
Yes. Okay. And we had 4 ayes. Okay. Setting a public hearing for an amendment to the zoning map to rezone portions of 1788, 1790, and 1794 Penfield Road from residential 1 or R120 to Four Corners District.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board pursuant to Chapter 250-15.1 of the Code to amend the zoning map to rezone the portions of, as mentioned, 1788, 1790, and 1794 Penfield Road. Those are SBL numbers 13905-2-23.103, 139.05-2-23.102, and 139.05-2-23.101, currently zoned residential R120 to be in the Four Corners District. So now, therefore, be it resolved that this Penfield Town Board is best suited to act as the lead agency within the meaning of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which is seeker, and thus does hereby designate itself as lead agency pursuant to seeker. Be it resolved that the subject application is determined to be an unlisted action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and so be it further resolved that the Town Board in the said town of Penfield shall hold a public hearing on this at the Penfield Town Hall, 3100 Atlantic Avenue on May 4th, 2022 at 7 p.m. to consider this application and to hear all persons interested in the question amending this zoning ordinance and map to rezone 1788, 1790, 1794 Penfield Road in the Four Corners District. So be it further resolved that the notice of this public hearing is certified by the town clerk, shall be published at least once in our official newspaper of the town, and the first publication, therefore, to be not less than 10 nor more than 20 days before the set date, the date set for the said hearing, as aforesaid. A copy of this legal notice shall be posted on the official signboard of the town as prescribed by law. Thank you.
Thank you. A motion by Councilperson Drawe, second by Councilperson Kohl. Roll call vote.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Approval of a special use permit to allow the former restaurant to be converted to a new restaurant known to be the Bar Bill at 1129 Empire Boulevard in the LaSalle's Landing Development District.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a special use permit pursuant to Town Code 250-5.9-E to allow a new operator to take over the existing restaurant under a new name at 1129 Empire Boulevard in the LaSalle's Landing Development District. Whereas the town board of the said town of Penfield held a public hearing at the town hall on March 16th at 7 p.m. and we considered that application, and we heard all persons interested on the question of the issuance of this special use permit pursuant to the town code to allow a new operator to take over existing restaurant under a new name at 1129 Empire Boulevard in the LaSalle's Landing Developmental District, and the public hearing was closed. So be it resolved that the applicant's request for a special use permit to allow the new operator, which is the Bar Bill at 1129 Empire Boulevard, is hereby granted, subject to the following conditions. And board, we have about 7 conditions in this. Among them, any signage proposed for the site will require administrative approval by our town board. Any future site changes requiring to this address site and parking shall be subject to our town board's review. Failure to comply with any of these conditions may result in the revocation of this special permit due to the requirements of this zoning ordinance. So be it further resolved that this applicant's proposal is classified as a Type 2 action pursuant to the requirements of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and no further environmental analysis is required. Be it further resolved that the town board is granting this special use permit, does so based on the following findings, and I'll read those. There are 4 of them. This location is easily accessed from the adjacent corridor, and the use is consistent with the previous uses of this site and the existing building. The applicant is proposing to operate a restaurant which will provide a valuable service to our Penfield community, and the applicant's proposed operation of an existing structure will enhance the appeal of this corridor. The proposal is consistent with and furthers the goals and the objectives, the requirements for issuing a special use permit in this district. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion by Councilperson Drawe, second by Councilperson Ockenden. Are there any questions or comments about this? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign an intermunicipal cooperation agreement for the purchase of Medicare Advantage plans.
So moved.
Second.
So be it resolved that the town board of the town of Penfield hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign an intermunicipal cooperation agreement that reflects the current interests of the involved parties. And a copy of this file is on file with the town clerk. And the attached agreement as well is attached to this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilperson Drawe and a second by Councilperson Kohl. If there are no questions or comments, we can have a roll call vote.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Naming of a labor relations consultant to the town of Penfield.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that Bolanos Lowell, BLLC, be named as a labor relations consultant for the town of Penfield. And be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign a contract with Bolanos Lowell, PLLC, Attorneys at Law, 16 South Main Street, Pittsford, for an agreement upon fee depending on the nature of the services rendered, to be approved by our town attorney. And be it further resolved that the town board reserves the option to assign specific labor relation consulting to internal staff and to other qualified labor consultants in addition to Bolanos Lowell, necessary to represent the town. Such other qualified firms will be compensated for the business referred to them during the 2022 at an agreed upon fee depending on the nature of the services performed. Thank you.
We have a motion by Councilperson Drawe, second by Councilperson Ockenden.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Appointment to Historic Preservation Board.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that Charles Fox be appointed to the Historic Preservation Board for a term expiring December 31st, 2024, at an annual salary as established by the town board.
Motion by Councilperson Ockenden, second by Councilperson Drawe.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization to advertise for sealed bids for the Courtshire Drive Culvert Replacement Project.
I'm not sure I have that one.
You should have it, but if not,
What number?
do you have it?
I don't have it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. What's the name?
22, 23.
23.
23 I've got is the Public Works purchase.
Yeah, it's this one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's okay. Thanks, Amy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how that happened, but
That's okay.
hold the phone. All right, 1 second.
It's been a long week, I
Yeah.
know.
Bear with me. Okay. We're on 123, correct?
Yes.
Purchase of a 2022 P7 Cam 164 STT split tilt cam superline
So moved.
trailer. I'm sorry.
Whereas the Director of Public Works desires to purchase one 2022 P7 Cam 164 STT split tilt cam superline trailer from Brooks Factory Direct Trailers, 240 Route 104 in Ontario, for a total cost of $11,370. And whereas the total funds of $11,370 for said purchase are available in the drainage budget SD 08540. Now therefore be it resolved that the Director of Public Works be and hereby is authorized to purchase said trailer.
We have a motion by Councilperson Ockenden and a second by Councilperson Kohl. And I'd just like to add for these next few resolutions that these are all in our adopted budget. We just normally go through the resolution of authorizing the purchase.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Purchase of a STEP SPHD 3.0 dump-style asphalt trailer.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the Director of Public Works desires to purchase one STEP SPHD 3/0 dump-style asphalt trailer from Syncon Equipment, West Tornado Road, Rush, New York, for a total cost of $54,996.00. And whereas the total funds of $54,966.00 for said purchase are available in the Highway Department budget. Now therefore be it resolved that the Director of Public Works be and hereby is authorized to purchase said trailer.
Motion by Councilperson Ockenden, second by Councilperson Drawe.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Advertising for bids for janitorial services at the Town Library and Department of Public Works.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the Director of Public Works be and hereby is authorized to advertise in the manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals to furnish the Town of Penfield with the following: janitorial services for the Town Library and the Department of Public Works. Now therefore be it further resolved, the service contract shall be in accordance with specifications prepared by the Director of Public Works. Sealed proposals are to be received in the office of the Town Clerk until April 29th, 2022 at 11 o'clock a.m., when they will be opened and read publicly by the Town Clerk.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilperson Ockenden, second by Councilperson Kohl. If there are no questions.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Lee. Lee is absent. Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization to attend the Highway 2022 Highway Superintendent's Highway School in Ithaca, New York.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the Town and County Officers Training School and the Association of Towns of the State of New York co-sponsor a highway school in Ithaca, New York, in cooperation with Cornell University Local Roads Program. And whereas the Highway Superintendent's Highway School has been very successful and helpful in the past in informing and educating highway superintendents on various topics associated with the job duties and responsibilities. Now therefore be it resolved that Eric Tate, Director of Public Works, and Joe Perkins, Deputy Director of Public Works, be and hereby are authorized to attend the 2022 Highway Superintendent's School in Ithaca, New York, Monday, June 6th, Tuesday, June 7th, and Wednesday, June 8th, 2022. And that all appropriated expenses will be reimbursed, which are budgeted in the 2022 DPW budget.
All right, I have a motion by Councilperson Ockenden, a second by Councilperson Drawe.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Now, authorization to advertise for sealed proposals for the Courtyard Drive Culvert Replacement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the Town of Penfield desires to replace an aging culvert on Courtshire Drive in the Willow Pond neighborhood, and whereas the Penfield Town Board accepted Community Development Block Grant funding to assist in this replacement project from Monroe County, and whereas the Town Board hereby declares itself lead agent for this project as it is the only involved agency for this action, and whereas the Town Board, acting as lead agency pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, has classified this proposal as Type 2 action. Now therefore be it resolved, the town engineer be and hereby is authorized to advertise in a manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals for the culvert replacement project. Be it further resolved that installation methods and materials covered by such sealed proposals shall be in accordance with plans and specifications which have been prepared by the Town of Penfield Engineering Department and are to be advertised on April 14th, 2022. Bids shall be received at the office of the Town Clerk until 11 a.m. Friday, April 29th, 2022, at which point they are to be opened and publicly read aloud.
Thank you. A motion by Councilperson Ockenden and a second by Councilperson Kohl.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Setting peddlers' permit fees.
So moved.
Second.
Whereas the Town Board is authorized to set and amend fees from time to time, and whereas the Town Clerk has made the following recommendation to ensure that the Town of Penfield remains competitive with similarly sized communities within Monroe County, and whereas the Town Board has reviewed said recommendations and concurs with the Town Clerk's findings. Now therefore be it resolved that the peddler's permit fees be established. Peddler's permit application fee, $250 per calendar year. Peddler's permit fee per peddler, $100 per calendar year.
Thank you. Would you like to add anything to this?
No, I think it's just, this will make it much better for the town to control the amount of peddlers that go through. I know a lot of residents are unhappy when we have a lot of people going door to door at the same time, and this might help control it, not to mention that it is very similar to other towns that are have the same type of population. So this would be a good addition.
And I'd like to thank the town clerk for bringing this to our attention for review.
My pleasure.
All right, we have a motion by Councilperson Ockenden and a second by Councilperson Drawe.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign a professional services agreement with Pathway Vet Alliance, LLC, DBA, veterinary specialists, and emergency service for animal shelter services.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that Pathway Vet Alliance, LLC, DBA Veterinarian Specialists and Emergency Services located at 825 White Spruce Boulevard, Rochester, New York, be appointed town veterinarian for 2022 to cover emergency situations and to be paid for services performed. Be it further resolved that the town board authorizes the supervisor to sign a professional service agreement to be reviewed and approved by the town attorney with Pathway Vet Alliance, LLC, to provide the aforementioned services.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilperson Ockenden and a second by Councilperson Kohl. Are there any questions about this? Okay, seeing none.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign recreation contracts.
So moved.
Second.
This authorizes the town supervisor to sign 20 recreation contracts, and you're going to read a lot about all these different vendors in the next brochure that comes out, because it's almost all about the summer programming and even Young Explosives to come back for our 4th of July celebration, all the way to Steve Grills performing in the Taste of the Blues in September. So it's kind of, I'm not going to read them all, there's 20 of them, but you'll be reading a lot about that in upcoming months.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion by Councilperson Kohl and a second by Councilperson Ockenden.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Appointment to Local History Room Advisory Committee.
So moved.
Second.
This resolution that reads that Mindy McLaren be appointed to the Local History Room Advisory Committee for 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2022.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilperson Kohl and a second by Councilperson Drawe.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Okay, I believe that we've concluded all our resolutions by function. The town will continue to run. As seeing any, nothing else, is there any old business or any new business? Okay, we're coming to our second public participation portion of the evening. Again, if you would like to reach us, you can do so at 340-8771, or you can reach us through our website at penfield.org. And again, anyone in the sea of people who would like to. Okay, seeing none, I will declare this portion of public participation closed for the evening. There is no executive session following this meeting, and our next legislative meeting will be on April 20th, 2022. That's 2 weeks from tonight. And I will declare this meeting adjourned at 8:19 p.m. Thank you.